This channel has always been about saving you money as a developer. You already know I bring you the best hacks and tips to cut costs. Well, today I've got a big one: how to save 85% on your AI coding models. Cloud Code is powerful, no doubt, but it's pricey. Now imagine getting the same speed, same features. That's where Kimi K2 comes in. It plugs right into Cloud Code, works exactly the same, but at a way lower price. Let's dive in. So, what exactly is Kimi K2? It's an advanced coding model built by Moonshot AI. It can code, explain concepts, and even solve problems, just like the best of them. But here's the best part: you get the same quality results as Cloud 4 models while spending only a fraction of the cost. Also, I do have another surprise for you guys today. If you watch this video fully, you would get a code to claim your free API key on our Telegram channel. Just stick with the video. I'm giving you a free Kimi K2 API key for, obviously it's limited. So let's say the first 10 people, and if you get to that part of the video and able to see the code, just share the code with us on Telegram and you'll be able to claim your free API key. Thank you.
So first thing you need to do is actually set up Cloud Code. Just pull up your terminal, and then you can run the command you will see on the screen: npm install Anthropic Cloud Code. So once you run that command, depends if you're using Linux, you might need a set like sudo, to run it with a higher permission. But if you're using Windows, just running npm install is fine. Okay, once it's done running, next thing you need to do is get your API key from Moonshot AI. You can go to platform.moonshot.ai.com, create an account, then create the API key. So you could just use the default project and click OK, and then you copy your key. Once you copied your key, you have to keep it really safe because you will not be able to view it again. So just go and paste it somewhere. So you can see for this is Linux, I had to use the sudo command. So here you have to run the command you see on the screen: export the base URL, just as you're seeing on the screen, api.moonshot.ai/atropic, and then you put the API key. And yes, API key used in this video will be deleted before this video is posted. And as easy as that, you see I can trigger cloud by just typing cloud on the terminal once it's installed. So let's just put in a prompt to test this. This is installed on Linux, like on my WSL. So let's just test this out with this simple prompt. It's more about building a math application that can solve math problems and even show you step by step. So this simple application, but it's more than just your to-do list. This will have like the normal API and actually solving math problem and showing the formula. For Windows, you have to use set X so that it's set permanently, and you have to close the PowerShell and come back. So you can pause the video to see the exact command that was run, and to make sure that it's set properly, you can actually run echo base URL or even echo, the auth token to see what is set. And same way you type cloud to trigger the cloud code, and you can see the base URL is pointing to Moonshot AI. So that way we can use Kimi K2. So you can always just navigate to the folder, because I actually open it on my home folder and now I navigated back to the folder where I want my code base to be and triggered cloud again. So I'm going to be using the same prompt that I used earlier, to just because I tested it earlier on Linux version, and we're now doing the same thing on the Windows version. And yeah, you see I have some permissions like, do I want to create the file? You press enter, just like we normally use cursor actually. So Cloud Code actually like works quite similar, and it's been able to create it for us, and even give us the instructions. We can see the file structure, and it also gave us the instructions to set up the code base. So I'll just be running the instructions on a different window. So first things first, I have to install the requirements, and all this is just from that simple prompt in Kimi K2, just that simple prompt. So after installing the requirements, you see it told me I could run the with Python main.py, and then I have the URL. It's as simple as that actually. So we have it. You can see on localhost we have what was done. This is just from that simple prompt, nothing specified about the UI, and we can see it looks good actually. And these are the different problems we said we want to be able to solve. And it's even had the mind to give us a sample problem so that we don't have to think of a math problem to test this. Also, you can also go back there and type in your own problem if you don't want to use what's in the example. So I'm just going to edit this. You see, I changed that to 7, solve, and it's able to solve those problems. It's the same purple-ish background that you will get if you're using Cloud Code and you did not specify UI that you want. This is the Cloud Sonnet 4 UI that you usually would get. So now I'm going to be running this exact same thing with Cloud Sonnet 4, not Kimi K2, and we're going to be able to see the result side by side. So you can see this from Cloud Sonnet 4, and you can see the results. It looks very, very similar. It looks like it was done by the same AI and with the same concepts, examples, instructions. So yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that.
Here's a benchmark chart comparing Kimi K2 with Cloud Sonnet 4. First scores higher sometimes, but Kimi K2 outperforms in multilingual, even terminal bench, and even on the dev side, they basically tied. So in the real world coding tasks, Kimi K2 holds its ground, and sometimes even better than Cloud. And for the part that really matters, yes, cost. When I ran this whole math application, right, this whole workflow and experimented with it, Cloud Sonnet 4, it cost me around $1.8. Running the exact same workflow with Kimi K2 actually cost me just 18 cents. Yes, I was surprised actually. The same workload, same output, see like we ran the experiment, and it's just, even like 10 times cheaper. So whether you're a student, you need to code every day, or you're a freelancer, or even a fully employed developer working in a startup that's scaling fast, Kimiketo builds everything with the same efficiency, but at 85% less cost, way cheaper. One more thing, Kimiketo isn't just limited to Cloud Code; it works in other coding agents too, like Cline, Cursor, OpenCode, Roll Code, and the rest. For example, Cursor, you can connect to Open Router and add Moonshot AI/Kimiki to I'll be leaving that on the screen as a custom model and start using it right inside Cursor. In Cline, Kimiketo is already one of the selectable models. Just need to set it up like configure the API key and the rest. With AI tools like OpenCode and the rest, you can configure the API key and the base URL and it works there too. So if you prefer working in agents or in terminal instead of with cloud code, you can still use those tips that I provided today. You can still plug this with your favorite IDE and it would work fine. So here's the takeaway. If you're still paying full cloud prices for overspending, Communicator gives you nearly the same performance for a fraction of the cost. For coding workflow, it is just fine. That's it. You've seen cloud code running on Kimike to same performance, same efficiency, no clickbait videos, able to show you guys practical proof. And if you find this video helpful, do hit the subscribe and let me know in the comments section this for you or you're experiencing any issues. Also, if you're able to get to this part of the video, do not forget to claim your free API key. Thank you.